Okay, we're going to talk about graphing linear non-proportional relationships and using slope and y-intercept to do that. So let's kind of go through what those words mean so they don't seem so awe-inspiring here. Graphing is basically we're going to look at we're going to put points on a coordinate plane. Linear means it's a line. So basically we're going to graph a line. A non-proportional relationship is a line that does not go through the origin. In other words, we're going to have a y-intercept. And what we're going to do is learn how to graph using that slope and y-intercept as opposed to making a table of values. So our essential question of how can you graph a line using the slope and y-intercept hopefully should become very clear after the first example. So here we have an equation y equals 3x plus 2. What we need to do is define what the slope is and what the y-intercept is. We know the slope is located right here next to the x, so that would be 3, and the y-intercept would be 2. I'm going to put down words next to these letters because I think it'll have a little bit more meaning for some of you. And what we're going to do again is how do we graph with this? Well, we know that between the two, slope and y-intercept is the one that is a point, and it's located where the graph crosses the y-axis. So we're going to go to positive 2, and we're going to put a point right there because that actually is a point. Now slope is the direction of a line or the steepness of a line, and we can determine that by rise over run. So if we take the number 3 and put it into a fraction 3 over 1, we'll see that we can get a rise of 3 and a run from 1 from this point of the y-intercept. So we'll rise 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1. We can do that again, rise 3, 1, 2, 3, over 1. We can see that we're getting numbers in a line. So what I'm going to do is grab a line here, and grab a line and go through these points. Now you'll notice that when I draw a line, I make sure that I'm going as straight as I can. I also want to make sure I'm extending through the points, and I want to put arrows at the end of them because the line will go on forever. We're just seeing a small snapshot of it. Now let's talk about this a little bit, and I'm going to give you my interpretation of what the letters M and B could represent to help us how to graph. I look at the y-intercept because it's a point. This is where we're going to begin. Where we begin on the graph. We're going to begin right there at 2. Slope is going to represent how we move. So how we begin, how we move. And how we moved from there is we went up 3 squares and over 1. Again, we went up 3 squares and over 1. So that should help us to learn to graph. Now, some things to think about. We have a positive graph here because this is positive 3 over 1. What if it was negative 3? Well, again, the rise will take into account whether we're going up or down. If it's positive, we're going to go up. If it's negative, we're going to go down. And you'll notice that the run is always positive. So we're going to take the run always to the right. So up into the right or down into the right. And that way we can get the correct slope on our graph. Let's try it again here in example number 2. We're looking at y equals negative 3/4 x minus 2. Let's find the slope and the y-intercept. Again, here we take a slope. It's a number next to the x is negative 3 over 4. And the y-intercept is 2. Slope, y-intercept. Again, we're going to graph these points. This is where I'm going to begin. I'm going to begin at negative 2 because that's the only one that actually is a point. And then I'm going to have a slope of negative 3 over 4. So I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I'm going to move, right? Okay, so now I have a line. And really, you only need 2 points to draw a line. You don't need any more than that. And you want to extend your line all the way through your points and make sure that you have arrows on the end of them. And then you can see there's our line. Now you need to